Patrick's garage. All simple Volvo B20 engine.
It is reliable as can be.
The engine is a 4-cylinder, water-cooled.
It's not turbo, just a regular, normally aspirated engine.
All simple, one-barrel carburetor. That's more simple than modern cars. On it, very simple to work, by the way.
They're extremely reliable engines.
And we see oil stain under the fuel pump. Not dripping, so we don't care about that. I'm looking under the car from time to time just to keep things in check.
It doesn't leave pools of oil under it.
It's just because was installed a late type of front seal instead of felt seal. And more than this, I recently replaced it.
It doesn't leak or burn any oil between oil changes.
And let's look at the engine head. And main differs from B18 engine. Can you guess for what this places? What differs from B18 engine? Don't guess. This is smooth surfaces for fuel injectors. Some models can be with fuel injector, but we can find this at B18 engine, of course.
This is the tried-true and proven design.
Starter motor from Bosch, original red LED, which goes from the battery.
It's a good engine, there is no arguing that.
Right here on the engine block above the fuel pump, we can see the engine designation Volvo B20.
It's a reasonable size engine, only 2 liters. It's enough.
Under this aluminum cover are timing gears, not a stinky timing belt. And if you're interested, I filmed a video on how to correctly replace these gears. I'll put a link down below.
It's not going to beat anybody in a race.
82 horsepower is enough to drive like an average thrifty old guy.
This my engine doesn't have modern electronic crap, but it works perfectly fine like most modern cars.
Here are the most complex electrical components that are in the car. Just relays.
If you've ever been to a car repair place, you'll know they're looking at your wallet.
It kind of leaves me scratching my head. It's a way for them to make money doing easy work. We never took cars into the dealer for repair.
They're relatively easy to fix.
Maybe you're interested in how to restore Distributor. You can watch my video about this topic. Distributor BOSCH with original spare parts can last forever. New condenser works perfectly fine. This engine can run, and it's not gonna bankrupt you like a lot of modern cars.
There is so much working room.
These things cost a lot of money to make, but they can run forever.
You can do a lot of work yourself.
I was need spending time and money to get it in running order.
It is a decent-sized engine and it hooked up to a 4-speed transmission. Manual. With manual transmission, you can drive it whatever way you want.
The gearbox has 4 forward speeds and reverse, with synchromesh on all forward speeds.
Unlike the modern ones that are all computerized.
Mechanical fuel pump. Maybe you're interested in how to replace fuel pump. I replaced it myself because I know mechanics going to do a crappy job. Fixing probably break other things. It's just from my experience.
So, if you enjoy this content, go ahead and share it with someone that could really benefit from it.
They always are looking for excuse and they do crappy work. Beautiful three-phase alternator BOSCH. These things never let me down. Alternator we see right here, but the voltage regulator is mounted on the right wheel arch by means of two screws. It is a mechanical voltage regulator. And we see again Bosch alternator. Now you see this part from my video about replacing alternator. This is alternator, not generator. The same by construction which use on the modern cars now. Ignition coil, also Bosch. Only one coil for 4 cylinders, for 4 spark plugs. And the lead from coil goes to the mechanical distributor, which distribute spark to the proper cylinders at the correct order 1, 3, 4, 2. How it works you can see in my video where I checking spark plugs. And little disclaimer, this way of checking can be done only with old type of ignition, only with contact breaker, of course without any electronic wrap. They do that with electronic. It can destroy all system. Never check spark plugs this way with electronic ignition.
Crank it over. Okay.
Let's look at the carburetor. Simple British carburetor Stromberg. One of the first models, 668 years. And if you're interested about repairing carburetors, you can watch my videos about this topic. I'll put a link down below. All we know that late model carburetors had so much ridiculous electronic and anti-pollution equipment. And of course you don't have to deal with all that crap of late carburetors. This is a treat just to see this carburetor. The main thing is you want to repair carburetors that are close to your technical level. I think so. Most people don't use professional rebuilders anymore. So do it yourself. Do it right. And they're never going to tell you that true if it's money coming out of their pocket. And now you see a very interesting thing, constant temperature device. Inside this plastic box, air at atmospheric temperature from cold air hose is mixed with air which goes from hot air hose. Inside is a flap which connects with temperature sensor. This is so that the cold engine heats up rapidly, and then the temperature of air entering the carburetor remains constant. Average rubber fan belt with maybe dangerous steel fan. Oil sensor under manifold. And let's look at the expansion tank of the cooling system. And when we check cooling system, not forget about expansion tank cap. It also need to be checked. You can watch my video about this. Which non-original cap we can be using. This way we can be check only expansion tank cap, not used for all system. And copper radiator, more better than aluminum with plastic sides. I recently bought this engine just for my experience with repairing engines. We see inside first repairing pistons. This designates as 0.15 or 0.15 in inch size, of course. For time for storing, I covered the surface with LM grease. Rebuilding an engine is a very labor-intensive, using high-skilled workers. Only if you have a mechanic you trust, get it done. Rebuilding engine is an immense, complicated, high-skilled labor thing.
I'm so glad that you decided to drop in today and have conversation with me.
Thanks a lot for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to slap that subscribe button. I would really appreciate it. To rebuild the engine, we need to use only the best parts, because when there is money pressure to do it cheaper, we end up with crap. Yes, we can do any complicated things, but it takes a lot of time to study the information. So stay away from all that crap. Don't let people rip you off.